And the essential technique that is used in the mantric tradition is rhythm. Rhythm is the essential technique. And the only way you can know the rhythm is by hearing it. You can't see it. So, if Sri Aurobindo writes, "All is too little that the world can give," all is too little that the world can give. So there are 4 metric feet, which you've just heard. And conventionally, we say that this is pentameter. Conventionally. But he says, if you scan these lines for pentameter, you will not understand anything. Because there is another level of rhythm, which he calls quantitative meter. And quantitative meter is based upon units of sound that carry meaning. The meaning is carried by the weight of the unit of sound. All is too little that the world can give. Its power and knowledge are the gifts of time, and cannot fill the Spirit's sacred thirst. Although of one, these forms of greatness are, and by its breath of grace our lives abide. Although more near to us than nearness's self, it is some utter truth of what we are, hidden by its own works. It seemed far off, impenetrable, occult, voiceless, obscure. The presence was lost, by which all things have charm. The glory lacked, of which they are dim signs. The world lived on, made empty of its cause. Like love, when the beloved's face is gone. The labor to know seemed a vain strife of mind. All knowledge ended in the unknowable. The effort to rule seemed a vain pride of will. A trivial achievement, scorned by time. All power retired into the omnipotent. A cave of darkness guards the eternal light. A silence settled on his striving heart. Absolved from the voices of the world's desire, he turned to the ineffable's timeless call. A being intimate and unnameable. A wide compelling ecstasy and peace, felt in himself and all, and yet ungrasped, approached and faded from his soul's pursuit, as if forever luring him beyond. Near, it retreated. Far, it called him still. Nothing could satisfy but its delight. Its absence left the greatest actions dull. Its presence made the smallest seem divine. When it was there, the heart's abyss was filled. But when the uplifting deity withdrew, existence lost its aim in the inane. The order of the immemorial planes, the godlike fullness of the instruments, were turned to props for an impermanent scene. But who that mightiness was, he knew not yet. Impalpable, yet filling all that is, it made and blotted out a million worlds, and took and lost 1,000 shapes and names. It wore the guise of an indiscernible vast, or was a subtle kernel in the soul. A distant greatness left it huge and dim. A mystic closeness shut it sweetly in. It seemed sometimes a figment or a robe, and seemed sometimes his own colossal shade. A giant doubt overshadowed his advance. Across a neutral, all-supporting void, whose blankness nursed his lone immortal spirit, allured towards some recondite supreme, aided, coerced by enigmatic powers, aspiring and half-sinking and upborne, invincibly he ascended without pause. Always a signless, vague immensity brooded without approach, beyond response, condemning finite things to nothingness. Fronting him with the incommensurable, then to the ascent there came a mighty term. A height was reached where nothing made could live. A line where every hope and search must cease. neared some intolerant, bare reality. A zero formed, pregnant with boundless change. On a dizzy verge where all disguises fail, and human mind must abdicate in light, or die like a moth in the naked blaze of truth. He stood compelled to a tremendous choice. All he had been and all towards which he grew must now be left behind, or else transform into a self of that which has no name. His spirit faced the adventure of the inane. Abandoned by the worlds of form, he strove. A fruitful worldwide ignorance foundered here. Thought's long, far-circling journey touched its close, and ineffective paused the actor will. The symbol modes of being helped no more. The structures nescience builds collapsing failed. And even the spirit that holds the universe fainted in luminous insufficiency. In an abysmal lapse of all things built. Transcending every perishable support, and joining at last its mighty origin, the separate self must melt or be reborn into a truth beyond the mind's appeal. All glory of outline, sweetness of harmony, rejected like a grace of trivial notes, expunged from being's silence, nude, austere, died into a line, into a fine and blissful nothingness. The demiurges lost their names and forms. The great schemed worlds that they had planned and wrought, passed, taken and abolished, one by one. The universe removed its colored veil. And at the unimaginable end of the huge riddle of created things appeared the far-seen Godhead of the whole. His feet firm based on life's stupendous wings, omnipotent, a lonely seer of time, inward, inscrutable, with diamond gaze. attracted by the unfathomable regard, the unsolved slow cycles to their fount returned, to rise again from that